In this video, I want to talk about how you can use the printer as kind of like a little mini farm that can sustain 4 dupes at least, basically indefinitely, as long as you have a water supply. So the printing pod gives off a bunch of light. And if you have a look at the overlay here, clean this out so we can see it in its entirety. Actually, pretty big. So a standard duplicate requires 1,000 calories per cycle. If you look in terms of, let's say, Bristle Blossom, we would need 4 Bristle Blossom uncooked to support 1 duplicate. Whereas if we can cook them, we only need 3 plants per duplicate. Now, if you were using a Bristle Blossom variant, you could obviously get a lot more calories out of it. And then, or if you're doing a different type of food, if you're doing like stuffed berry or berry sludge, you could really make this farm go a long way for you. The other great thing about using the printing pod for doing a little mini farm is that it doesn't create any heat from what I can tell. So you basically have a permanent light source that's not heating anything and doesn't require any power to run. You only need to have light on the tile right above the plant in order for it to get the light. And they only need, I think it's like 200 to 300 looms in order to grow for the Bristle Blossom. So it's not like it's more than enough to get it to work for you. Now, I like to set it up where, I don't put too many because I like them to be able to water it, and I don't want to make like, ladder spaghetti. I don't like looking at it. There's one thing is that it doesn't look very pretty, and if you're like me, I'm a little bit anal about how everything looks. But the key here is to just make sure, in order to get the light on top, you're going to have to kind of think about this light as kind of coming across diagonally. And so on the sides where it sticks out the most, you can get all the way out here because you only need the one. So if I were to deconstruct this here, you can see that it's sticking out the side, and then because you can take advantage of those ones, you just have to be careful that you don't cover what's underneath it. So if I put this one here, oh, I can actually get a third here. So there you go. So I've just was able to put an extra one on there. And I've never like really tried to go as hardcore as I could with this, but I'm sure you can get more than 4 dupes out of this if you really tried to. That was too close. So here we get that one. So this has 1. So there's the 3 that I just had. So that works. So on this colony, I've been running this setup for, the majority of the game. I did just end up putting a farm up, but this sustains me for basically indefinitely, as long as I don't go over 4. And you can push it to 5 a little bit. You'll have problems, but usually you'll pick up some muck root and stuff as you go. I'm pretty sure I've seen people able to squeeze more in on the top here. But I could be wrong. Regardless, this is a great way to get an early game food supply. Now, sometimes you're gonna have to do some ladder spaghetti so that your guys can obviously reach them. And I'm a huge fan of keeping my colonies small to begin with. Mind you, I'm kind of an AFK player, so I let the game run while I'm doing stuff. So sometimes I'll be 200 cycles in and the base hasn't done anything. But it was, I don't know, I was well over 1,000 hours into the game, and I had never even looked at this or addressed it. And then it was, a while back that I realized that this was just a free source of never-ending food that wasn't creating any heat or requiring any power. And now I try to utilize it as best as I can, because it's just such a great, easy thing to do. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.